The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Again, this week, we're so excited to have you back. This week, we have Angelina Sanders of Visiting Angels here on the show to share everything that they do, and really an eye-opening organization that is super, super helpful to some of the elderly in our community. So let's get into that now.
We're thrilled today to have Angelina Sanders with us. She is with Visiting Angels here in Lufkin and Angelina County. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm excited.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about your background,
okay,
and then we'll talk about what Visiting Angels is.
Okay, yeah. So, funny thing is, my name is Angelina, but I'm actually not from Angelina County. I'm from San Antonio.
Okay.
I moved here. My father has been a truck driver for many years, pretty much all my life, and we started out with him working at Temple Inland in Diboll, and just kind of migrated here. I was here for a little bit of my elementary and then back again for high school, but I joined the military and then was off, being a soldier and military spouse, and then after 11 years came back to Angelina County. I liked coming back to seeing it have flourished and grown since like my childhood, and I knew very quickly that I just kind of wanted to immerse myself into it. So whether it's like in church gatherings or community affairs or volunteer hours, I have dedicated a lot of time into the community, but kind of like in the shadows. Now that I'm a part of Visiting Angels and really can have a voice and use my occupation now, being in it, I have a bigger passion towards helping the community and helping. For me, since Visiting Angels is a provider services that helps with the elderly, I feel like I get to help out the founders of Lufkin and really be with the people who really set the foundation of Lufkin and nurture them and their families and going forward. So
nice.
That's very cool. So tell us about Visiting Angels. So what is it? One of the cool things about this podcast is we get to learn about a lot of different businesses, and typically I have a pretty good idea of what a business is before they come in. Like, okay, I've heard of them before, I know what they do. And when I first read this, I was like, who is Visiting Angels? I was like, what is going on? I love the name of it. So tell us, for people who may not know what it is that you do, tell us what that is.
Yeah, so Visiting Angels is a provider service, and we help in care with the elderly, so providing them like hygiene assistance, meal prep, transportation, companionship. A lot of our seniors around East Texas and even surrounding counties, are usually left on their own, and they don't really have as many family members or people to help them out on a day-to-day basis. So we just go in, and I like to tell everybody it's visiting with our mamas and papas and helping take care of them. And every client that I've had, whether new or previous, I take care of them as if they're my own family member. Visiting Angels is one of those people that help loved ones find a good home health agency, because even if it's not with me, I will definitely help find resources and recommendations and refer out to whoever is necessary. I like to kind of be there for the family members, especially because it's an overwhelming decision to try to invite strangers to come into the home and provide that personal, like intimate assistance where, in the hospitals it's different. You have like your nursing staff and you're used to having those people with you. But when you're at home and you're like, wait a minute, somebody's coming here, it can be overwhelming and stuff. So we definitely try to go in and help with those things and be a part of that setting and take care of them.
So the people that work for Visiting Angels, are they all nurses, LVNs, or is some more of somebody to come and sit with you?
Well, it's not just sitting.
Okay.
So, but we're a non-medical agency for ours here in Lufkin. We do have agencies across the U.S. We're founded in 1999 or 1998, actually. And so we're a national company. We're all over the U.S. But specifically for our Lufkin location, we just have CNAs, which are certified nurses aides, and caregivers that go out into the home. But we don't just stop at home. We can go with them to like the rehab centers. We can go with them into like assisted living, to the hospital, or wherever they are for us to be.
That's right. It's perfect for someone who doesn't have family here local that can help them that needs assistance.
Yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
great service.
Yeah, or family that just needs an extra hand.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's it can become a more than full-time job a lot of times.
Yeah.
Doing this type of thing. Very cool. So how is this in-home care different than home health? We hear a lot about home health. We've got a lot of home health providers in the area. Tell us how that's different.
How it's different.
When people think of that, because I'm sure people probably mix that up.
Yeah, well, they do, and they call us and they're like, "Hey, we just wanted to see." Home health really focuses on like the skilled nursing side. So they do have like LVNs or like RNs that'll come into the home, and they come in to check like vitals and medications and making sure that if they need extra care, they're not able to make it to like a doctor's appointment and stuff, that they'll be able to go out to them.
Okay.
Whereas Visiting Angels is more provider services, and we just help out with their day-to-day living. So home health is more of skilled nursing,
Medical care.
Medical care, and then our agency is just making sure that they have a companion with them at all times.
Awesome. I'm sure that fills such a big need for people. So that a lot of times you may not need that full extent, but you do need somebody to kind of help out. That's awesome. I think that fills a really cool gap.
So you were mentioning providing services outside the home. So being able to drive them to doctor's appointments or to get their hair done. I mean, I think about things my grandmother.
Yeah.
It was very important for her to always have her hair done once a week.
I love that. Yeah.
And my mom lived 45 minutes away. So, it was always nice if somebody could pick up my grandmother and take her. Do y'all do things like that? As simple as that?
Absolutely. Yes, as simple as that. So we actually have quite a few clients that are like, I just need somebody on Saturday to take me to the beauty shop. And that is perfectly fine. We have some of our caregivers will actually take them and make a day out of it. Let's go get our hair done. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go get our grocery store. They can take them to and from doctor's appointments.
That's right.
I think we're one of the few agencies that offers, transportation in as simple as that. Lufkin at this time doesn't really have a taxi service or Uber or Lyft. So Visiting Angels can be as simple as just transportation. We do have really, really low rates, so it's not, beating the bank if they just need somebody occasionally to drive them to and from places.
That's amazing.
But our caregivers really enjoy those days where they get to just go to the beauty
Absolutely.
store.
Yeah. It's a fun day for them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm sure like just one day a week, if you're just doing that, could be such a huge difference from somebody being almost a shut-in at that point. But like if you're just able to do that, can be life-changing, I can imagine,
and
for some of these.
it's funny because we had a couple of them that are like, well, I only need, maybe an hour, with somebody and nothing more. But then once they start to have that hour and they receive them, after that, they kind of like, well, can they come back? Can they, can they come like maybe 3 days a week at that point? And then it turns into like a really nice friendship. And some of them go on outings to like the zoo, or they're like, hey, we want to take a drive, to Tyler today. Would that be okay? Absolutely. However you want to spend your time is on you. It's all a client-based schedule. So, and the caregivers are very flexible. We staff at least right now 100 caregivers in East Texas. Yeah, we serve Angelina County, and then from Angelina about 100-mile radius out.
Okay.
So from our office. So we have a lot of clients and staff that are able to do those things.
That's interesting.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
So how do I start care services with Visiting Angels if I had somebody that needs it?
Yeah, well, it's very easy. It's very easy. So all you do is we do an initial assessment. It's a free in-home assessment, or you can even do a little bit of it over the phone. And then from there, we just schedule a time and day for either myself or a patient care manager to go out into the home. And they just get to know you, ask a couple more questions. You do not need a doctor's referral. There's no startup fees or cancellation fees. fees, no deposits like required. Because we are a non-medical agency, you don't have to have like private insurance. The majority of it is private pay.
Okay.
So there's no need to go through a doctor to get to us. You just can call us directly, and we'll just make it as easy as possible. And our turnaround right now, because I like to be overstaffed more than understaffed,
That's great.
Usually we can start services either same day or within a 48-hour process. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very quick. We have a very quick turnaround, and we do what we can to make sure that it's taken care of.
Same day in 48. You guys are like the Amazon of
Yeah,
personal
I
care.
like to call it our prime service.
Hey, that's we're all spoiled to that. If I can't get it the same day or like within the next day, like I don't want it. I just
For
don't want
sure.
it
And I'm
right now.
super impatient, and maybe that's what, transfers over into it. Because I'm like, if somebody comes to me and they're like, I need, my grandmother needs this, and this is just what we're needing, and could you please help out? Absolutely. I will move mountains and bend over backwards and cross my fingers and say a big prayer, but we will make sure that we get it done.
Very cool.
This is such a great agency to have.
Yeah,
and
I
to
love
be able
that.
to tell people about. This is amazing.
So
Yeah, absolutely
how
love
do
it.
people contact you? So if they want to get started, is it something like they go out and fill out a form on your website, or do they call or email?
Yeah,
How do they do that?
can either or. So my information is pretty much everywhere at some of the facilities. I've passed out the kind of literature with everybody. But if they want to reach us, they can go onto Facebook. Visiting Angels Lufkin. It'll show like a way to contact us there. They can go onto our website, which is visitingangels.com/Lufkin, or they can just call us at the office. It's very, very simple. I mean, we make it to where it's as easy as possible. People will contact us through Facebook as well, and for them, it's a little bit easier. It makes them feel like it's less business and more personal.
Love that.
So any way that they can reach us, they can.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Great information.
Yeah, thanks for coming on here and sharing your time, and appreciate you sharing all this information. If people don't know about this is I didn't. I think this is really cool information to share with everybody. And we appreciate you listening this week to the podcast. Please go check them out. And if you have somebody who needs this service or know someone who could be interested, share their Facebook page or share their information with them, and go check them out. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. We will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.